Denver's Cherry Creek North neighborhood is known for shopping and high-end dining. Tonight, police are actively looking for a man who is seemingly targeting that luxury lifestyle, taking part in a series of armed Rolex robberies. Your investigator Brian Moss has been looking into those cases. He joins us live tonight from Cherry Creek North. And Brian, who exactly are these robbers targeting?
Kelly, we've learned that the victims in these attempted armed robberies were residents of this Cherry Creek North neighborhood, and they were prominent citizens in this area. We've also learned that one suspect in these cases has now been deported, with Homeland Security saying that he was a member of Tren de Aragua, TDA, a Venezuelan street gang. The second suspect is still on the run. With upscale shopping, art galleries, high-end boutiques, and fine dining, and surrounded by multi-million-dollar homes, Cherry Creek North is considered one of Denver's safest neighborhoods.
I was sure that somebody would have walked by and said, hey, what's going on, on the window like this, and I'm sitting in there.
But on one particular day, it sure didn't feel like it to 85-year-old Larry Dietrich.
And then I looked up, and he's got the gun pointed at my head, and he was very forceful. Watch. I said, you mother son of a you're not going to get this watch from me today. Didn't you understand me? I said,
Turns out what happened to Larry was not an isolated incident. According to this Denver police document, there have been 3 robberies in Cherry Creek North within the last 12 months in broad daylight, where the unknown suspect attempted to rob the victim for their Rolex watch. Dietrich had just finished coffee with friends here when he got in his car to leave.
There's always a spot in the parking lot.
He says a feeling of rage came over him that someone would rob him at gunpoint in his community during daylight hours in a heavily trafficked area.
Finally, it sort of became a standoff that I think he realized in order to get my watch, even if I was wearing one, he was going to have to shoot me. It went through my mind that, well, if this is the end, so be it, but I just didn't want to give up the watch under these circumstances.
What did your wife say when you told her what you did?
She said I was stupid,
But this was just another chapter in a life of danger. Larry was a professional race car driver, racing the Pikes Peak hill climb in his 70s.
Put the gun away, I just stood there, and they were parked.
The would-be robber ran away, but 10 days later, it happened again. A prominent Denver lawyer was walking his dog at 3rd and Steele in the heart of Cherry Creek North mid-afternoon, 4 blocks from where Dietrich was held up. The suspect demanded his watch at gunpoint, wrote police, but say investigators, the 71-year-old lawyer refused to give him the watch. The suspect took off running, eastbound on foot.
It's been a deeply impactful tool.
Denver Police Commander Cliff Barnes says investigators turned to the Flock camera system for help. It's a network of 111 cameras around Denver that can not only read license plates but track cars by certain characteristics. They say in both of those robberies, Flock cameras around Cherry Creek North showed a 2006 gray Honda Civic with a temp plate was in the area.
Flock was an integral piece of that, right? Because we were able to take a look at vehicles matching the description that was provided by the victim at the time.
And police tracked the Honda back to its owner in Greeley, Fernando Rodriguez da Silva. Police say da Silva's cell phone was in Cherry Creek North during both of those robberies. And investigators say da Silva tried to cover his tracks by turning his phone off right before both robberies.
I can't believe this. It's the same guys.
The Department of Homeland Security said Fernando da Silva is a criminal Venezuelan illegal alien and a member of the vicious Tren de Aragua gang. The statement went on to say ICE arrested da Silva in January of this year, claiming he admitted to being the getaway driver for numerous TDA Denver area robberies. The agency says in March, da Silva, who they call a dangerous gang member, was deported to El Salvador.
You can imagine what the press would have done with a murderer under those circumstances.
Larry Dietrich's Cherry Creek North neighborhood is pretty quiet these days, although police are still looking for the second suspect. The gunman in both cases, 28-year-old Diker Rivero Urbano, who Denver police believe might have fled the state.
I just wasn't afraid of dying. I just was curious and, could kill me.
Now, we did ask the Department of Homeland Security for their evidence that Rodriguez da Silva was a member of TDA, Tren de Aragua. They did not respond to that request. Police say if you're confronted by an armed robber like these men were, do not do what these men did. Instead, they say comply with an armed robber and prioritize your safety by cooperating, staying calm, and giving up your property. And if you do recognize Rivero Urbano, the second suspect, police ask you to call Metro Denver Crime Stoppers as they are actively looking for him. Live in Cherry Creek North, I'm Brian Moss, covering Colorado First.
Quite the situation there, Brian. Thank you so much.